Have you ever kept a secret so heavy that it felt like it was crushing your chest every single day? That sits exactly where I am right now. I'm caught between two affairs, and the shocking reason why might not be what you expect. At first glance, it looks like a simple story of betrayal. Two people in my life, both pulling me in opposite directions. But if you think this is just about love or desire, you're still wrong. The truth is far more complicated and much more painful. Let me take you back to the moment it all started. I never planned for any of this. Not for the late night calls, not for the hidden messages, and definitely not for the double life I ended up living. It began with comfort. One person gave me safety, a warm place where I felt understood, where I could rest. The other, they brought fire. That spark that makes your heart race, the kind that leaves you awake at night, wondering what tomorrow could bring. Now here's the shocking part. I didn't fall into these two affairs because of greed or lust. No. It happened because I was desperate to feel complete, in ways I thought one person alone couldn't give me. And that's where the guilt comes in. Because while I was searching for myself, I ended up hurting the very people who gave me love. Every morning when I wake up, I stare at the phone, wondering which message will appear first. A sweet reminder of care from one side or a wild invitation from the other. It's like standing at a crossroads every single day, knowing whichever path I choose, I'll lose something I can't replace. And you might be thinking, why not just pick one? Why not just walk away from the chaos? Trust me, I ask myself that same question every night. But here's what makes it worse. One of them knows more than they're letting on. I see it in their eyes. That suspicion, that silence before they speak. They're waiting for me to break, waiting for me to tell the truth. The weight of this secret keeps growing. I can't enjoy simple moments anymore. A dinner feels like an interrogation. A smile feels like a mask. And every laugh I share feels stolen. Sometimes I wonder if they already know, and they're just watching to see how long I can keep this act together. But here's something you don't know yet. This double life isn't just about me. No, it's tied to something much deeper, something that reaches beyond love. And when you hear the real reason I'm caught in these two affairs, you might not see me as the villain anymore. You might see me as someone trapped in a cage I never built. Because the shocking truth is still coming. I kept thinking, maybe I could hide this double life forever. Maybe no one would find out. But deep down, I knew secrets always surface, the weight of what I was carrying. It started eating me alive. Every smile I gave, every word I spoke, it felt fake. I was living two lives. One during the day, another at night. And honestly, I didn't even know who I was anymore. The shocking part, both of them thought they were the only one. They trusted me fully, without a single doubt. And that trust was like a knife twisting in my chest every time I looked them in the eyes. One of them wanted a simple life, peaceful. The other dreamed big. Extravagant plans, a future full of excitement. And I was torn right in the middle. There were nights I'd sit alone, staring at the ceiling, asking myself, what if they both find out? I imagined the chaos, the tears, the heartbreak. But then there was another thought that shocked me even more. What if, deep down, I didn't want to let go of either? That's when it hit me. Maybe it wasn't about love at all. Maybe it was about fear. Fear of choosing one life and losing the other. Fear of letting someone down and being left with regret. I wasn't caught between two people. I was caught between two versions of myself. But here's the twist you didn't expect. Someone was already suspicious. I didn't notice it at first, but the little questions, the way they looked at me, the late night calls, I couldn't explain. It was clear. My perfect cover was starting to crack. And once cracks appear, it's only a matter of time before the whole thing shatters. Every time I thought about leaving one, I found myself pulled back by something I couldn't ignore. One had my heart, the other had my soul. And that's where the real storm began. People think having two affairs is about fun, excitement, maybe even greed. But in my case, it wasn't about any of that. It was about survival, about filling two different voids that no single person could heal for me. One gave me comfort, like a safe place where I could hide when the world became too heavy. The other gave me fire, a spark that made me feel alive again, when I thought I had lost myself completely. And so, day after day, I kept telling myself I could manage both, that no one would find out, that I was strong enough to balance this dangerous double life. But the truth, deep inside, I was crumbling. There were nights I would stare at the ceiling, my phone buzzing beside me, knowing that one was waiting for my reply, while the other had just fallen asleep next to me. The guilt was heavy, but the fear of losing either of them was even heavier. And here's the shocking part. The reason I stayed in both affairs wasn't because I wanted to, it was because I felt trapped. Trapped in promises I made, in emotions I couldn't control, and in the thought that if I let go of one, I would lose the best part of myself too. Danger wasn't just about being caught. It was about losing everything in one single moment. And believe me, that moment was closer than I ever thought. I thought keeping both worlds apart was safe. But then something happened that shook me to the core. One evening, while I was sitting at a cafe with her, my phone buzzed on the table. I didn't notice it right away, but she did. She picked it up and smiled, saying, "Oh, someone keeps calling you over and over." My heart froze, because I knew exactly who it was, the other one. I quickly grabbed the phone, forced a laugh, and said, "Just work stuff, don't worry about it." But inside I was sweating. And here's the twist. At that very moment, another message popped up on my screen. A sweet voice note from the one who was calling me non-stop. Her eyes caught the notification. She didn't say a word, but I could feel the weight of her silence pressing against me. I tried to change the subject, kept talking fast, hoping she would drop it, but she didn't. Instead, she leaned back and whispered, "You're hiding something from me, aren't you?" The room suddenly felt smaller, the air heavier, and right then, my mind screamed one question: how much longer can I play this dangerous game before both sides collide? But what came next was even worse. I never thought that the simple act of replying to a late-night message could change everything. But it did. That one message reopened the door I thought I had closed for good. And once I stepped through, there was no way to turn back. On the outside, it looked like I was managing things fine. But inside, it was chaos. My thoughts were racing every hour, and I kept asking myself, what am I even doing? I knew it wasn't fair. Not to her, not to the other one, and honestly, not even to myself. There were nights when I would sit in silence, staring at my phone, waiting for it to light up, wondering which name would appear on the screen first. That moment of vibration, sudden buzz. It felt like a decision being made for me, but I was still the one caught in the middle. Every small thing began to feel like a test. Who do I call when I have good news? Who do I reach out to when I feel down? Who do I trust enough to let in closer? The more I tried to balance, the more it slipped through my hands like sand. And then came the scariest thought of all. What if both of them found out? What if the secret I was holding on to wasn't mine anymore? That fear, it lived in me every second, like a shadow I couldn't escape. I never expected both of them to cross paths. But it happened. One afternoon, while I was sitting quietly in a cafe, lost in thought, the door opened, and both of them walked in separately. They didn't know each other, but the shock I felt in that instant almost stopped my breathing. Imagine sitting there, already carrying a weight heavy enough to crush you, and suddenly the two people who hold your secrets stand under the same roof. I froze. I didn't know whether to run, hide, or confess everything right there. One of them spotted me first. Her face lit up as she started walking toward me. My heart raced, but before I could even prepare my words, the other turned her head and saw me too. That moment, it was like time slowed down, yet my chest was burning. I couldn't escape. Their eyes locked on me at the same time, and the fear in me grew heavier than ever. Inside my mind, I screamed, "This is it. This is the end of everything." I gripped the edge of the table so tight, hoping the ground would just swallow me, but no, life wanted me to face what I had been avoiding. The shocking reason I was caught between two affairs was about to be tested in ways I never imagined. And then, one of them smiled at me sweetly, unaware of the storm building around us, while the other's expression grew serious, almost suspicious. I felt sweat on my forehead, my hands trembling under the table. They were walking closer, step by step, and I knew I had only seconds to decide what to do before both of them reached me. I remember sitting in my car one night, just staring at the steering wheel. My hands wouldn't move, my heart wouldn't calm down, and in that silence, one truth finally hit me harder than anything else. This wasn't about love anymore. This was about fear. Fear of losing. Fear of choosing. Fear of being exposed. But here's the twist that even I couldn't believe. I wasn't scared of them finding out about each other. I was scared of finding out something about myself. You see, I started asking a question that haunted me day and night. Why do I need two people to feel complete? Was it greed? Was it emptiness? Or was it something I wasn't willing to admit yet? And every time I thought about ending one of the affairs, I'd feel this strange pull inside me, like if I let go, a part of me would disappear forever. But here's where it gets even stranger. It wasn't just about them giving me love. No, it was about them showing me two completely different sides of life. One gave me stability, the calmness I thought I needed to survive. The other gave me thrill, fire, and the courage to break rules I never dared to touch before. And the shocking part, without realizing it, I had started to depend on both sides to even feel alive. That's when the guilt started creeping in. Not because of what I was doing to them, but because of what I was doing to myself. Every lie, every late night excuse, every secret phone call, it was slowly breaking me down from the inside. Yet even with all that, I couldn't stop. And the question you're probably asking right now is, why? And trust me, the answer isn't what you think, because what I discovered wasn't about love or even betrayal. It was about survival.